7, 8, 9, 30. Hey, Larissa.
Hey, Jen.
Larissa is the staff scientist working on increasing people's confidence in vaccines and public health. Hey, Larissa, what are you doing?
I'm verifying my hypothesis. I'm testing it out.
You're what?
Ever heard of the scientific method?
Huh?
It's a procedure that scientists follow.
An operation?
No, it's a series of steps that scientists use to answer a question.
Looks like I'm about to learn some stuff about the scientific method. So Larissa, what is the scientific method?
Well, I could tell you, but that's kind of boring. Why don't we do it together?
That sounds like such a good idea. I love hands-on learning, hence why I love Science North.
Me too. So the first part of the scientific method is to come up with a good question.
Oh, I've got a good one. Why can't I have more ice cream?
That's a great question, but we can't use the scientific method to answer it.
Why not?
It's too easy. We can always have more ice cream. Hold on a second, let me look here. Oh, I've got a good one. Does sound travel through water?
That sounds like a good question.
Oh, I heard what you did there. All right, well, follow me.
I love books.
It's a good thing because we're going to be doing research now and we're going to be looking things up in books.
I love that. What I'm hearing is that I get to read some books. I'm gonna choose this one. It's about a dog that goes to the bank and gets a golden dog biscuit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really interesting, Jen, but do you remember what our question is?
Yeah, does sound or can sound travel through water?
Right, so we're gonna do research about that topic.
Larissa, do I have to read about this stuff in books? Like, can't I, Google it?
Well, sometimes we're not sure if the information on a website is reliable.
Wait, not everything I read on the internet is true?
Unfortunately, no.
Well then, how can I tell the difference between a site that is reputable and a site that is not?
First thing you need to do is you need to check the author's credential. You wouldn't want a chef doing heart surgery, would you?
No.
And then the next thing is to check the date. For example, if the article's from 1986, we've learned a little bit more since then, and so we probably have different findings now.
Okay.
And then finally, you want to make sure that the article has been peer-reviewed.
Peer what now?
So peer-reviewed means that people who also have similar credentials have read over the article and they agree with the findings.
Oh, so what you're telling me is that scientists work together and share their information with each other so they don't hide anything.
Well, exactly. We work together, we share all our information. So let's get at it. Let's get some information.
Awesome. You know, Larissa, I could do this forever and ever and ever and ever.
Well, I think we've done enough reading. So based off of our research, we can now create a hypothesis.
A hypoponymous? What?
A hypothesis. It's an educated guess based off of the information that we've gathered.
This sounds like fun.
So based off of our question, can sound travel through water? What do you think that your best guess would be?
Well, with everything that I have read about, I'm pretty sure that I think sound can travel through water.
Excellent. So the next step is to experiment and test out that hypothesis.
Larissa, are we gonna get messy?
For sure.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
So, are you ready to experiment?
Oh, I am so ready. It looks like we might get a little wet.
That's a good possibility. Now, through our research, we figured out that sound needs molecules to travel, and water is made up of molecules, right?
Yeah, yes it is.
So do you think that we can make sound waves in water?
Oh yes, and I know the perfect way to do that. Did that work?
Sort of, except we kind of need to do an experiment that is repeatable and we can recreate the exact same situation. Do you know what this is?
It looks like chopsticks.
Close. It's called a tuning fork. If you hit it, it makes vibration.
I can hear that.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we can make sound waves in water.
Larissa, I don't need another shower. I've already had 2 today.
Do you want to try it again?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so if I hit it, it vibrates. I definitely get vibrations and splashed. It makes like a ripple on the top of the water.
This means that sound can travel in water. The water molecules vibrate like air molecules and eventually travel to your ear.
Wow, that was easy.
It might seem easy, but now we need to take measurements of the height of the water, the temperature of the water, so that if we do it again, everything's exactly the same.
Oh, so we need to be able to do the same experiment over many times with the same conditions.
Exactly, and then we gather that information, and then we move on to the next step of the scientific method, which is the conclusion.
So Larissa, the conclusion is where we share our results of our experiments.
Yeah, so we take all of the data that we gathered from our experiments and we analyze it and we come to a conclusion. So based off of what we just did, what do you think the conclusion is for your hypothesis?
Well, I think based on all of our scientific experiments, I believe that my hypothesis isn't wrong. But what if it is wrong? Then what?
Well, if it was wrong, then we probably need to come up with a different question and then design a new experiment to test that hypothesis.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but we do bit by bit small experiments, and each time we gather more and more information, and it increases our understanding of scientific things.
Thank you so much, Larissa, for teaching me about the scientific method. I learned so much. I learned that we don't just make things up, that we have to research and test and test and test and test and test our hypothesis. Now, if you have any stuff that you think that I should learn, please let me know by leaving a comment below. I love learning. Now, about that ice cream. I wonder who I would have to talk to about that. See you next time on Jenn Learns Stuff. I'm gonna get ice cream. Oh yeah, this way.